Damn, just now? Fuck.
I know. They
And
missed
that's
all
the
the
first
stuff.
thing people will hear, Butch. Thanks.
We haven't started yet.
Figure I might as well start early.
It'll take a little than like 5 minutes after the meeting time to start. People don't show up in time. There goes Cisco.
So how's everyone doing?
God.
Good.
Man.
You for fucking Jason.
Nice talk.
Yeah.
That's okay.
Fuck you.
Ooh.
Thank you.
What up?
Bensor, you owe me a beer because you did not meet me in Copenhagen like you said you would.
I will buy you a beer.
Yeah.
Fucking but when we go like this, he owes me a complete TwitchCon visit because he found it more important to break his damn foot.
Yeah. That was fucking planned, right?
Yeah,
That's okay.
He planned to break his foot because he didn't want to meet me in Copenhagen. Like,
No.
This fucker won't.
Oh,
No one really wants to meet you.
I'll meet you with Copenhagen.
Oh, Viper, don't you worry. I've got something coming for you, buddy.
Oh, snap.
Don't fucking try me with a good time now.
Hey, Pink.
So, I
breathing.
think one of the things...
What?
I'm passing Canada.
Oh, good. Congratulations.
Don't go inside of it,
Hey,
you'll
look.
change.
It's the fucking maple leaf.
Say sorry.
Yeah.
Don't go to Canada.
That's okay.
Yeah, we
I
don't want you
passed it.
here.
Wow.
Fucking
You don't want me to
Jodians.
plug stuff in?
Oh, I don't want you to plug stuff in. I'm married.
She
so-
has Space Cat for that.
That's bad. Is nobody talking?
Oh.
Oh, okay.
we are talking lots, but you can't hear us. I think it's a problem on
Oh.
your end.
Oh, okay.
Wee.
Are you sure you didn't plug something in wrong?
No, I plugged it in right.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah, you did.
No, he knows how to plug it in right.
Good for him.
He's good at plugging it in.
All right, so we're ready.
Give it like a few minutes. People are always late.
Oh, fuck you at 6 p.m. Start the meeting.
Oh, fuck you.
Make sure that you don't have any pots on the oven or on the stove.
I
That's what
would
just did.
actually appreciate it if we did start the meeting.
Alright, just
Maybe not do that, Viper.
Thank you for screeching.
Yes. Yeah.
I remember when I first hit puberty.
I love that Disco is calling from the off. Suck a dick.
That's not what they said. I said
That is
It
exactly what
sounded
you
like
said.
suck a dick.
You guys will hear when I get mad.
yeah, sure.
Where are you,
So
Disco?
usually- I'm currently driving.
You sound so far away.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
So, can we start,
Can we?
please?
What's the agenda? Go over it first, Viper. Did you come up with one this time?
Wait, no?
Call him out immediately. Nice.
No, we don't get agendas. That's not how we do it here. We just wing
Okay,
it.
all right. Let's begin. So
Okay. Let's go. Let's
Raise my-
begin with you. Let's
raise my volume if you can't hear me.
go now. Alright, I got it.
Let's
Let's go.
let's start with a review of what has been done.
Fucking hate you.
Someone else continue.
Fucking hate you.
Viper, please talk and not have him.
He's the one talking. I can't stop him.
Viper, get your shit together.
Alright. Welcome to the meeting.
Yep, we've done that bit.
Oh, we've done it already. Alright,
Good
we'll
All right,
start.
welcome to Alcohols Anonymous.
Anyway, sorry.
Speaking of which,
Hey. Let's start with first thing first. Is anyone here that's currently not whitelisted? Please put in your Steam ID in the meeting chat, and at the end of the meeting, we will whitelist you.
You can connect once also to newdawn.fun, so your account actually gets created before you post your Steam ID.
Anyone that has been whitelisted, just do that, and we will get you at the end of the meeting.
And make sure it's your Steam 64 hex. It should start with a 1. If it doesn't start with a 1, you probably got the wrong one.
It's a lot of ones. What channel did you guys say?
There's a
The-
shit ton of ones.
The NDG meeting.
NDG meeting. Okay.
Yeah, Blaze will start telling you how to do it anyway. Again, thank you for coming to the meeting. We've now been live for almost a week. I think we started Sunday night, Monday morning, at least for me. So so far it's been pretty good. Please, I think. Beta. Anyone else disagree? No. Okay. Cool. Thanks. I mean, what have we done so far? God. I don't know.
My god, Viper, you are horrendous at this. Right, so from a staffing side, we are aware of what's been going on the server. We're aware of you guys' feedback. We are in the process of collating that feedback in regards to everything that you guys are saying, and you know, changes will be rolled out within. I don't want to put a time limit on it, but within the beta period at some point.
A
So-
minimum 2 weeks. We want to go for at least 2 weeks. We're gonna run beta for.
Literally just said don't want to put a time.
No, we said already minimum 2 weeks, but a long time ago.
We are listening to you guys' feedback, so the more feedback you can give us, the better we can get things set for getting the end of beta boxed off and then finished off, and then we can go 100% with live. I mean, we are live obviously at the moment, but when we go officially live, there'll be less changes with stuff in regards to economy and stuff. So more feedback you guys can try and give now, for more so with if there's problems with bugs or jobs that don't work, or you guys want to see maybe a job done slightly differently, or if you got any other ideas of how we can do something that's already being implemented, then that's the kind of feedback we want. In terms of economy wise, we're aware that it's a little harder to make money than we initially intended to. We're aware that some of the law side of things and fines are a little bit high. We're aware of a lot of like fuel prices. We're aware of like certain jobs not paying as much, certain jobs maybe paying too much. So we're aware of all these things, and again, the more you guys go actively out there and do these things, the more data we can get, and the easier it makes our job then try and fix the issues that you guys are bringing to us.
Basically, what the persistence beta is, you know, it's a bug fixing period for us. It's not that, you know, we're not gonna work on new features. The priority is to fix what we have right now, you know, make it as good as possible, and as soon as we are done with that and we can go live, that's when we can start continuing, you know, building what we have. But we need to take care of, you know, the small things. The thing is, right now we don't have any like crazy major issues with these. Are just numbers with the economy, for example, that these are just adjustments that we need to do.
And small bugs here and there.
Yeah, like, you know, positions of markers, for example, maybe they aren't optimal, or they aren't popping up correctly and stuff like that. But we need, you know, we needed all the reports that we can to, so we're able to fix most of them, or all of them at least. I mean, we're obviously gonna miss something because it's impossible to find every marker, or People sometimes forget to report things and stuff like that. But as much as the more we fix, the better it's going to be for everyone later on.
So what we're gonna do is we have a form filled out for people that aren't here right now. We'll go through that first, and then we'll just ask people questions and get some feedback. One thing I will want to reiterate before we go into this is anything that gets discussed by you or by anyone in here about feedback, bugs, features, please write it down on the forums or fill in the form, because whatever we talk about a lot of shit here. Most likely, we'll forget about most of the details you just mentioned. So please write it down. Everything gets looked at. Everything. So we'll start with the first, because there's only 4 responses, so it'll be quick and easy. I'll start with the first one where someone asked, is the car economy in its final stage? No, the economy itself is not in its final. Everything is subject to change. All numbers are. And we need you guys, of course, to fill in these forms and discuss what is wrong or what should be better. In Inferno, and Disco's not really here. Is he? Disco, you
I'm
still?
here. Yes, I'm here.
You want to talk? Can you talk about that?
Sure. So with economy, the basis of it right now, which is why you don't see a lot of prices changing, is because we don't want to overinflate the economy right from the beginning. So it's better to give you something harder to grind for and prices that are a little too high, so that people aren't buying like Lamborghinis and shit right on the first day out of the gate. So currently the economy changes are going slow. They're going, we'd probably like them to go a little faster, but it's better to get them right than wrong. We do still want your feedback, because when I went to the dealership and I saw that a Faggio was more expensive than like a Regina, I was like, what the fuck is this? So, there's these small edits that we may have missed or slipped up on. So the more info you can give us, the more that things are pissing you off, just let us know and we'll take a look and see what's going on. Are there any questions just simply based off of that at the moment? No? Okay, great.
All right. The next thing is about the hunting, which there seems that there's a bug with hunting not giving you any meat. Yamanox, you try to fix that, but I'm pretty sure it's still desyncing.
Did something happen? Did you cut out?
Yamanox, are you still here?
What?
The hunting, is there still a desync issue with that?
No idea.
Okay. For anyone doing hunting right now, there is or was a desync issue which won't give you your meat back or correct meat, where it's been looked at. So
Can someone
for now,
ensure that's on the admin Trello?
it's on there.
Okay, good.
It's on the
Just wanna make sure.
development one already.
Yeah,
Okay, good.
it's being looked at as a current desync issue. What that means is, in your eyes, you shoot the deer in the head, but in someone else's eyes, you shoot the legs, and it fucks up how it works for now. So being looked at, will get fixed eventually. Third one is
fuck
there
are you
any
doing, bro?
more?
No.
Disco, you good?
Oh, get the fuck out of here.
Road
Yeah, that's
rage.
right, bitch.
Oh my god!
Alright, okay. Anyway, question: is there any more low-end transport being added to the get around?
Are they being specific? Like, what are they asking for?
Yes. If you're talking about like bicycles and on our list of things to do, but it'll probably be an after persistent beta thing. If
Addy?
that was the question.
Mute.
I think it is low-end transport. I mean, I think it just means
And you have the metro.
It says feels low. Lack of low-end traffic could increase car thefts at the airport specifically. What? The lack of.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, okay. So it's gonna talk about like bicycles and things.
Yeah, so what people have to remember, and if they don't know already, from the airport you can take the underground train, just keep taking the stairs down. I think a lot of people might have missed that. And yes, it takes a little bit of time, but it's RP. The train will come and pick you up, and you can take it all around the city.
Or
Does
you
it
can
go
call
to
it
the
to
welfare
actually-
office?
It goes right next to the welfare office.
Perfect.
Someone-
If you're in the one, you can actually see which one's the stations. You don't have to go that far. I've taken it to the welfare office myself.
And also remember, there is a busing job, so you can create your own bus routes. The more people you have in your bus, the more you get paid. So just keep that in mind. I'm not sure if people knew how that busing job fully worked. I'm sure there's a guide on it.
Can you go into a little bit more detail on that? How do you get paid on the bus?
Yam
I've tried it,
or
but
one
I've
of the
never gotten anything.
Sure, Yam
Well,
or one of the
you-
devs.
you
I actually
drive.
have not done it. Nice.
That was not helpful.
So, to my understanding, someone cut me off if you know more than me. When you get in your bus, you're not going to get paid until you have somebody in your bus. So the more people you have and the longer you go, I believe it's periodically. So like every 15 minutes or something, you get paid, and then it multiplies per person inside your bus. I could be wrong.
All right, yeah, that would make sense. Because I didn't have anyone in the bus, and I was just driving around.
Yeah, and you
Yeah,
end
not
up
get-
paying a 200 rent for it at first. So make sure you like announce that you're driving so people can come be picked up.
So
Alright,
the hope
simple.
with that is that you incorporate more RP and create your own routes as you do it, and maybe you are like Los Santos Transport Authority.
And a lot of people will need transport, for example, to the welfare office and stuff like that. So announcing routes to that would be a great way to start off with, because that means we don't get caught in stolen cars, and that would be nice.
Alright, the
Any
next
other
thing.
questions on that?
Sorry.
Any? No? Okay. All right. Sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, no. So the next thing is a good question. So the question itself is, why are officers and medics allowed to teleport us to Pillbox Medical, yet we cannot do that ourselves from Toledo? It comes from, I think what he said was he was moved from Toledo to Pillbox, but then was let go and couldn't move himself back. So essentially, he teleported himself to the city.
Pink is good on.
All right. So the way that it works is the teleportation is more a convenience for you and us to get you to the hospital as soon as possible, since there is only one hospital interior right now. So we want to avoid people from using the hospital as a reason to teleport or a way to teleport, and because of that, Civs can't have the ability to teleport between a hospital entrance and Pillbox Medical. So RP wise, what happens is you get airlifted from the hospital, so let's say Polito Bay Medical to Pillbox Hospital, and then you have to find your own way from there. Now, if you need to get back, a cop or a medic, whoever brought you there, might be able to cut you a break and take you back with them, but otherwise you have to find your own way, and that is intended to work that way.
And what people should remember is with the old interior, you couldn't just walk out the door. It was a teleport, and that remembered where you were if you're looking at other systems. But because we have this open door system, you can just walk out, and yeah.
Our hope is to add interiors to the majority of those hospitals, or at least the 3 main ones, so that we don't have to worry about things like this in the future, and you just go to your respective.
Anyone have anything about that? Questions, concerns, feedback? Do you want to talk about it?
We want to hear it all. Even if you start cussing Viper out, we want to hear.
Well, I would say
Especially
at
if
first,
you do.
at first it was a little bit shocking because of the fact that it's like, oh, I just got teleported. Well, that sucks. That's immersion breaking. But now that it's been explained, I think it makes more sense.
It's to avoid that whole thing where you're in the morgue and one cop is there from like Sandy, and then like the guy he's looking for walks in from Crusade, and you can't do shit about it because it's a little fucked up. So it avoids that entire situation.
But actually, in assessments, doesn't it actually aid that situation?
No, because if a person is there, they're only there. So if you're in that hospital and you see someone who is a criminal and they're going to that hospital, they had to have gone to Pillbox. There is no other option. So if you went with a patient to Pillbox Medical and then got a ride with your buddy back to where you left your car because you had to go with a patient, yeah, but basically you're at Pillbox always. You're not at Sandy Medical. You're always at Pillbox.
Well, what I mean is it aids the LEOs in that situation because the LEOs can come in from any.
Yeah, but LEOs
yes.
are also expected not to abuse that and are going to be held responsible by the
I
department
think
for that,
also
depending on
what
their
You have a very good point. I guess I mean, like, what it's to the standard that we're holding the department versus the player. I see what you're saying. I just haven't fully thought that through. I think it is a very good point.
Well, I would like to approach the fact that we always expect certain things of players and so on and so forth above that, but we also must understand that not every knife is as sharp as it needs.
Yeah, let's touch base on this again where we can have a full discussion. What I will do is I'll send something out, probably like a quick forum, and we'll have a meeting and open discussion with anybody who's interested in it. That way we can talk in depth and we don't hold up this specific meeting, but I definitely want to touch on this point because it is very important and I thought of it yesterday too. Saw it in help chat.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Anyone else want to weigh in a little bit on this, or is a quick question for this topic?
No, I'm not gonna. I thought it was kind of like weird at first, but after the explanation, it makes sense, and I don't really see a big problem with it.
All right. Well, like I said, we'll go into more detail with that when this makes a form. So that's the only things we had filled out for people that couldn't make it. So what we're gonna do now is hand it over to you guys. This is gonna be a hard one, but one by one. If you have a question, ask it. I know it's gonna be people talking over each other in the beginning, but we'll figure out who
You
gets
want
the
to
mic.
take it from the top
Yep,
down.
take it from the top down. Easiest way.
Okay. What's up, Krynox? Do you have anything you want to ask? Question, feedback, anything?
I'm gonna take that as a no.
I don't see any typing, so that's probably
typing.
Yeah,
there we
no.
go.
Cool.
All right, Anando. If you're a typer, I mean, I'll wait a few seconds for anything, but I'm gonna mispronounce the name. Aquida. Look, names.
No, you did fine.
We know your English is not that good.
And his question is Dutch, really, as well.
Aquadar.
I'm guessing that's a no.
Sorry, it's Akidar, and no, not at this.
Okay.
I was right.
Etrin.
Yeah, no,
Atrin.
I'm good. Thank you, anyways.
No problem. Boosted.
Yep. I got more than one though. Can we start off?
Yeah.
Can we start off with what we're kind of looking at time frame, or maybe?
So you're asking for an estimate in a sense of when we go out of persistent beta.
No. I'm trying to figure out how to word this. Custom cars is going to be my question. I wanna kind of know like how, like, percentage wise, is it like 50-50 vanilla and custom in here, or are we gonna go more or less on the realistic side and have more and time frame on those?
Martin.
The custom cars are currently being looked at as far as, I mean, the biggest problem is that we run into is a lot of people in the beginning. A lot of people suggested all these cars, but they have to be tested. And going through and trying to test all these cars to what we want is like a long process. But we have a list as more. I mean, we'll add vehicles as things go in. But like I probably have 2 right now that are actually like past our tests.
Well,
But go ahead.
Go on. I was just gonna say I want to just touch base on that because I'm gonna oversee that, but the problem is as Borat discussed it very early on here, is we're not looking to add anything new right now. So in terms of a time frame for those, I can't give you one. That's the simple answer, because we don't know how long this beta is going to last. We don't know how many bugs we're going to have. On top of that, like Martin said, it's a long process even to just go through one car, not just, say 100 that might have been already suggested. So time frame wise, there isn't one, but we will roll them out as soon as we can, and once they get checked and passed, um, at least from a staff point, and then onto a development point. If everything checks out, it'll get added then. But again, the issue is we can't add anything right now because we're trying not to add anything extra that's going to influence the economy, because we're already in a state of trying to change a few numbers around. So adding anything new is going to mess with everything that we're already looking at.
We
Try to
can't
balance
just
the economy with what the cars we have first, and then we can look into like adding
yeah
new ones.
with the customized cars. We can't just go in the GTA 5 mods and just throw every single car that's on there. They have to be like, there's collision issues that we're running into. Not all of them have meta files that are built to them, so they have to be completely customized, which that is a long process. It's a pain, but I mean it will be done. I mean, we do have some that will be ready to go in the near future. Time frame wise, I don't know. There's a lot on my plate right now.
Okay. That's pretty much what I was looking for an answer. So that's decent. I know it takes a long time to get them checked through, and you don't want to just throw anything in here. So I get that. I was just looking for
Plus we respect the creator who create it. If it's someone that created it and they wish not to have it in a server, we respect it, and we don't try to do anything, or we don't try to change them if they request us not to change them. So, but I have been talking with a lot of the creators about it, about making adjustments to their, like, we've been finding problems in some of the vehicles and talking to them, and I get a 50-50 response. Some of them respond back to me right away and some of them don't.
All right. My second question would be, I can see they're talking about it in the NDG meeting text channel, but what is it looking like for player-owned businesses? Are we gonna have like, I don't know, hoops to jump through to get?
I can touch base on this one.
So, I guess, can I do for a second before you do that? So,
sure.
There's 3 major features right now that are missing for a lot of people: gangs, housing, and player-owned businesses. Those are 3 well-known features that players will want. These features will be looked at in more depth after launch. That's when we start looking into those 3 big features. So right now we're not looking into them, but once we hit launch, those are the 3 features that are getting the most attention, at least from staff side. We'll look into how to do that. Now, Disco, if you want to go touch and base more into player-owned businesses.
Sure. So I've been looking a lot into it, and every time I bring it up for discussion, it seems that there are clearly a lot of people who are interested in how it's going to run, who's going to be involved, those sort of questions. But to keep it as brief as I can, I'll probably end up doing something similar with the hospital when we are ready to get that discussion going. I will create a meeting time, open forum, of course, as it is in our statement, be transparent, and get everybody's opinions and see what we can all come up with as a group. Because I think that businesses are quite important, along with the other 2 that Viper mentioned, and I think we'll come up with something pretty good. I hope that answers your question. Let me know if it didn't.
No, it did, and my third one was gonna be housing, but you guys just answered that too. So I'll just wait for, after the launch or whatever, and then you guys have the open meeting about them each. I'll join those, so I can hear about those. But yeah, I mean, so far I'm enjoying it on the server. You know, I've always wanted a economy that you have to work for. I guess you know, if you can get 100 grand in a day, there's something wrong. So,
Right.
I mean, I like it. You know, I've been playing for quite a few days now. Probably got like 15 hours in it or something like that, and I've only got like 15 grand. So it's to me it's like each dollar is worth $100. You know, it's almost like you found it on the ground and you're like, oh, gotta save this. Can't buy that pack of gum. So
It's the thing that
cool.
it's the thing that we talked about earlier. Normally, I remember when we were playing, like you order a taxi, right? And then at the end of the taxi ride, you like give him 10K for a taxi ride.
Yeah.
It was normal. It was just normal for everyone. Now you give him like $10, $20 maybe.
Well, it's funny you bring that up. As when I came in the first day it launched during phase 2, it was me, two other guys. We were waiting for a taxi, and the taxi said $35 to go to the post op. We're like, $35? We're like, let's split this. All right, let's get as many people in this cab. We're gonna split it once we get there. Like, it was just, you know, a great time. So I appreciate you all doing hard work, and it turned out really nice so far. So
Like I said, for those 3 topics, gangs, businesses, and housing, we will have open meetings about those specifically because there are 3 big topics that everyone really wants to happen. Is there anything else you want?
no, that's good for me. Thank you for letting me ask some questions.
Thank you for
Thank you
asking
for
them.
sharing. Yeah.
Next up, Cloud.
Hey, in the future, is there going to be a way to lockpick your friends out of cuffs, or?
Ooh, I said that too.
Oh, you said that? I
Yeah.
wasn't here.
Yeah, I was like, we should do that. I was like, that should be.
I
'Cause, like,
don't
today-
think anyone will disagree with that being a good idea.
Yeah,
I think we
'cause-
all want that.
If,
Yeah, 'cause the
if
only
it
way I
hasn't
was gonna say
already,
the cuffs.
Pistol unholstered 24/7.
if it hasn't already, Cloud, just double check on the forums on the suggestions section and make that post if it hasn't already been done. If it
There
has
is one.
been done, then we're aware.
I believe there is already one.
Yeah, I thought the other day about it.
Okay,
Alright.
then we are aware of it. Again, like
Awesome.
Laura said, new features after beta.
Cool. And one more question today. I was patrolling and I saw a local car, a local police car, and it was driving around in the alleyways and it had like a working spotlight on it. It was able to move. Do you think that would ever be a thing that might be able to be coded in or something?
Martin.
It just brought up a
What
the
was
other
it?
day, and that's pretty cool.
Oh, you mean to be able
Spotlight.
to point it in a direction? The
Yeah,
light,
like you can change the direction of the spotlight. Yeah,
I
that'd be
would
pretty
say
cool.
that that's gonna be probably possible. I'm actually I'm actually 100% sure that's possible.
It could be
That'd be pretty
done.
sick.
So there are already directional spotlights. I'm not sure if Yamanox added them in on anything yet though, but I think the FBI car has it.
All police vehicles have takedown lights on them.
Yeah, and usually the spotlight
Stationary
that's on the
ones.
side of them. Yeah, the spotlight on the side of
Yeah,
them is usually movable.
The spotlight can be done. I know for a fact it can be.
Yeah, I just saw it was sick. I saw a local car driving. He was driving through a alleyway and he was looking left to right with the spotlight. It's just really cool.
And,
That would be pretty sick.
Write it down. Suggestion. Write it down in the forums. You know.
Yep.
Cool. Anything else?
That's it. No, thanks guys.
Alright, next up, cool Milne.
Mine.
Go through these
Funny
names.
listening to Viper with these names.
Oh, I'm glad you're going through them.
I'll pay someone in the server to have a real awkward name just for later on in this list for Viper.
No, I'll pay someone to cut out every time he said a name and put it in a video.
But
I'm guessing nothing.
Yeah, he said nothing. D&D.
Red.
The only thing I have is it's I'll probably put in a bug report or something about it, but when you are paging up and paging down through the text while you're in the city, if someone says something new, it automatically goes to the latest, and it's really aggravating when you're trying to go back to a
So it automatically scrolls down to the bottom for every new message.
Yeah, so if people are bleeding back and forth and you're trying to go back and look at the 15th plate that you look at, it gets
Okay, yeah.
So one more time. When you press T, you want it to automatically go to the bottom. Is that correct?
No, no, no.
It is doing that.
Oh, it is the okay. Okay.
He wants to
Yeah,
stop
he
doing
wants
that.
the opposite.
Yeah, when you're using like page up, page down, or whatever to go through chat, if someone posts a new message, it always snaps to the bottom, and he wants it to not do that.
Okay, so disable auto scroll.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
yes. The other part of that would be: is there going to be an end and home key assignment to that?
Sorry,
I would say so. I would say yes to that. I'll actually look into it after the meeting.
Thank you, sir.
So before we move on, great streams. Keep up the good work. Love to watch them. No, it's great for the server. You show off some good stuff, and
it's nice to see what the server actually has to offer. Like building it and being part of it, but seeing someone else from the outside playing it. Yes, I know what you mean.
Alright, Disco?
I'm good.
Okay.
I'll just
Keep
make
every
you
other staff
hang.
member above him.
Yeah. What
No.
a
Dr. Seuss. Alright, cool. Engineer Jesus or Donald Duck.
I'll beat you.
Okay. A question?
No effect.
Yeah, nothing right now?
Got no questions now.
Okay. Flying turtle. Doshi, do you have anything?
Nope.
Cool. Ghost to ghost. Alright, that's quick and easy. Hardy?
No.
Alright, we're gonna ignore cards, so we always do that. Okay,
I actually have something to state.
That's fucked.
Inferno?
Alright, so I just want to touch up on the latest things I've been working on. I've been actually visiting the fuel economy and looking at the exact formula of everything. And it is very plausible for the Factor 15 economy that I previously mentioned in the transparency log I have going. So I figured I'd just let everyone know. That's it.
Thanks, Dad.
Khan,
You're
do
welcome,
you have
son.
anything you want to talk to everyone about?
Please say no.
Oh, you know.
Oh, he said no, thank God.
Damn.
Anyway,
Wow.
I love
Not
you. Love you.
Not
Noxie's not here. Lex Steel.
Get a room, you two.
Yep.
You have anything?
Nah, I'm just listening.
Alright, cool. I don't have anything. Lucasio?
Who's I?
He never has anything. It's Viper.
Okay. Magic?
Magic.
Oh, Magic.
Magic.
Oh, but
Magic.
add that. Somebody
Good
add that
English,
to the Slack.
Viper, after this, we're going to teach you English.
Somebody add that to the Slack. Magic.
I'm gonna take that as a no.
You can't teach people from Amsterdam.
Alright, Martin, do you have anything to share?
No.
Yeah. Matter. No? Okay. Mr. Bucket?
No, I'm good.
You can call Viper a bitch. It's fine.
Besides that? Nurse Ratchet?
I just wanted to say Viper's a bitch. Thank you.
Yeah?
Yep.
Agreed. I
got banned for saying that. That's not fair.
Yeah, that's to you, Precky.
See, but you can say Viper's a bitch anytime.
Enough bitching. Pink? Anything this year?
I'm definitely wanting to hear more feedback. I know a lot of people are kind of shocked and confused about medical bills, so the more feedback we can get as much as possible. I know some people love the high bills because it encourages them to protect themselves a bit more. Some people are hating it because they feel like they get hurt too easily. So absolutely, more feedback on that is the best. My department has pretty exclusive control other than like admin intervention on those prices. So also I'm working on some more clothing, so we're going to be going through and fixing a lot of those broken textures that are artifacts from just basically not existing in GTA Online, but by them loads them anyways. So I'm going to replace a lot of those textures. So we got some custom clothings coming in. We also have a couple custom tattoos. They're not working great on men and not at all. So I need to figure out why that's happening. But otherwise, if any of you have like something that you desperately want for your character, and you can see a broken texture, and you want that to be something for your character, I will take it into consideration. Same goes with tattoos. My PM box is always open.
Right, so you heard everyone. Message her constantly and make her hate it.
I will probably
Also,
be spamming it.
if any of you want, we are still recruiting for Safer. We got an academy coming up on Sunday. So get those apps in. If you get your apps in or you're accepted before tomorrow's academy, you can roll right into it. Remember, we're firefighters. There's actual fires to fight. It's awesome.
Yes, there is.
Just to touch base on that, so there's two forms right now you can fill in for feedback. One for economy, one for general stuff. If I highly suggest after you've gone to the server, done a few things, just fill in the forms. Any feedback right now is wanted. Any questions, concerns, it's all wanted right now. We want to hear what you want to see different, or what you like, or what you want to change, or anything what you guys want. Anyone have anything about what just said, or?
I do actually have something on now.
Sure.
So right now for the LSST, we are not hiring, but once we get through a couple of our academies and start getting our FTOs to work with our new recruits, we're gonna start hiring again. Just because it's gonna be a lot more people, just due to the size of the server. So if you guys are interested, once we reopen apps, put an application in, and definitely apply. So that's still I really wanted to mention about the sheriff's department now.
All right. We'll move on. Quality H20.
Yeah, I'm guessing you guys aren't done with like messing with LS customs, like, cause it's kind of like buggy, like with cause with my own car, like I put wheels and the window tint and stuff on it. When I pull out of the garage, it doesn't, none of that stuff stays, but when I go back to LS, it's free. So it's like, I didn't know if you guys
Not a
already knew about
server
that.
coder, but I will tell you from a development standpoint, we're never done tweaking anything.
Put a likely
Fucking
with some
lace.
screenshots and whatnot. Put in a bug report, and we will put it forward.
Reports, suggestions.
Yeah.
Yeah, I recorded it all, so I'll just
Yeah,
send
a
that in.
recording is perfect. Like if people can give us a little clip of what's going on, gives the most description, try and be descriptive of what it is, because I hate having to go back and ask questions, and you might feel like it's stupid questions, but the more our devs know, the better. So please make a bug report on that, because I feel like we did have it sorted at one point and it might just have not stayed for whatever reason. So anything else?
Speaking of LS Customs, there is currently a quote-unquote issue with repairing sometimes when the server does not see you have any damage on your car, but of course you have a broken windshield or a missing light or something. It is being looked at to be able, so you can actually get your car back to a nice looking vehicle. And also, I don't know if y'all actually push it live, but car wash, right?
Both of
Clean
those
the
are already
cars?
added.
Okay, so you can now clean your car. Especially for those cops that want to get that clean car, you can now go to a car wash and clean that car.
And you better play the song too while you're doing it.
Also, so you said the fix about being able to fix the car now always should also be fixed. I will go on. Ryan, do you have anything to tell everyone?
I have more of a question.
Sure.
I'm sure everyone who wants to blow through red lights and be a criminal is gonna have this question. Um, Judiciary system. I know that we probably, at least from what I've heard, haven't even touched that, but I think possibly just kind of like how SOE did because they lacked things. Ticket roll off after a certain time because those are just gonna stack like crazy pretty fast before we can even really think about a judiciary system. So perhaps start thinking about something small to have on the back end, just some sort of like roll off system after X amount of days.
I might be wrong, someone could confirm. I think it's already a thing that tickets roll off.
Just so
I think so.
Yes, it should be.
Okay.
The court is it's another big fucking subject that is
Well, and it's hard to find. It's hard to find that people find people that want to do it, dedicate the time because it is a lot of time. You need the supportive police evidence first of all for the court system to really work properly in the first place, as well as people who understand both sides of it. So
yeah.
The roll off period and whatnot. I think. Do we have the numbers on hand for that?
well, and
I'm
No,
not
no, the
100%
ones that
certain.
voted in.
Not
If
100%
not,
certain. It's either 30 or 60. I can't remember what was agreed upon when
well,
it was
and
implemented.
I can write a suggestion if you guys want, but I something I just thought about, maybe the higher the severity of the infraction, it takes longer to roll off. So it's a little bit more dynamic instead of just like, oh, this fucker was going 100 miles an hour over the speed limit.
but it's been 30 days, so now it's
30
gone.
days, so now it's gone. So stuff that's more like a higher, more serious of infraction that would, stay on the record longer.
The only problem with that, Ryan, is because I did initially discuss this with Martin, I think a couple of months ago, is the way everything works is not. I don't want to use the term impossible, but it's exceptionally hard to do because without some, if cops don't put the exact phrase in that matches what the database is looking for, then it's exceptionally hard to try and like put different factors on them because again the initial point where we were going to try and do for more serious charges like 2 points on your license, but then it was like, well, what if one cop misspells something or someone doesn't whatever. There's like
I
loads of
told you
variables.
what the solution was to that. We can talk later about it. There is a solution.
There's like two solutions I'm already thinking of to mitigate that.
Just a drop down box, honestly.
That I mean, you don't even having it searched by the query based on the text is a horrible idea. It should be a numerical value that is set. But anyway, that's really, I think,
That's
all I've
something
got.
that would come with the MWS though, so that
Yes,
down the road will solve our problem.
But for now, there is a temporary one so people don't rack up all the tickets and can't get rid of them. And if anyone gets to the point with max tickets, do we have a place where we take the license away at all?
It's cops can revoke licenses.
Does it say when?
This is on the forms. The one of the law sections states how many tickets someone can have before a suspended.
Yeah, it's 15 tickets before.
Okay, it's still
someone can
15.
take it
Okay.
away, yeah.
I apologize. I'm honestly completely new because I've not been paying attention. Is there like actual licenses that you have to obtain in game? Because I think that'd be pretty cool. So that you
No.
Well,
because
yes and no.
You could actually revoke it, have it get revoked in the database type of thing.
It at the minute, Ryan, the way, and for anyone else rather, that the way that it works is if you get 15 tickets, which nobody yet has done, looking at quite a few names in this list, which I'm going to expect to see pretty soon.
Raccoon's got to probably be the first.
I'm not going to name names, but there are a few people. But it's we can see, obviously, you guys have all seen it on streams. Some of you have seen it as cops. You know that we can see how many tickets people have. So when it hits 15, it is up to that officer to revoke the license. All that currently does is it doesn't take anything off you. It just marks you on the database for the cops as license is revoked, so that we can see. So then, if you get the next ticket, you then essentially get arrested for driving on a suspended license. So, how did we combat that to make it fair for everyone? Well, tickets will drop off after a certain amount of days. I would have to go back and review to see if we came up with an agreement from a staff side of if there was a way people might be able to get it back earlier than waiting for them to drop off until we have a court system in place. I don't believe that was ever discussed or figured out a way of doing that yet. So if you do get 15 tickets, just bear in mind that there is the cut off or the roll off date. So whenever your first ticket was, will roll off eventually, and you will get your license back.
All right. So court, it's another big thing. Eventually, we will have open discussions and open meetings about this topic. But for now, let's move on to Tom.
Captain
Oh,
Swindon.
there we go.
Can we look into making player vehicles more persistent? It's extremely frustrating parking your car, going to do post-op or any other job, and then when you get back to where your car was parked, the vehicle has been cleared up by the server.
Anyone, Dev, have any insight on that?
That sounds like someone stole it.
That also sounds like it's not a server issue, that's a GTA issue, because it's just GTA cleaning up after itself, so it doesn't have excess resource or
I'm not too sure about that, just because I've had vehicles stay in an area for like half an hour and come back and
It's
I've had 'em stay longer than that.
100%. It's 100% like there should be persistent. So if it's not there, then most likely it was stolen.
You
10
gotta
bucks,
remember,
but it was stolen.
GTA does what it wants to do, and there's nothing you can do about it too. Sometimes it's very weird how they work, how Rockstar built it.
Is it a vehicle you own, or did you steal that vehicle?
I'm gonna say steal because poor. Oh, did you own one that disappeared? Oh. Wow.
If it happens again, I don't know, check if it's stolen or make a bug report. I think it seems that it should not happen, at least. But again, it's GTA. It likes to do some stuff that you don't want.
The only thing that might have happened is the vehicle got desynced from another player.
All right. Yeah. Okay. We'll move on to the next person. Coda.
Yeah, I just have one thing. Have we thought about player versus player combat or crimes when there's like low population on or like no LEOs on or medics or anything?
The first thing we said is we don't want to limit it everyone like that immediately. But it will be monitored currently, and if it's too much of an issue, we will have to put in a rule against it. We want to, for now, not do it to not limit people. But like I said, if it actually becomes a really big issue, it has to.
I will say this, Dakota, just real quick. I will say this. Quite a few of the staff have been watching the NDG live stream for most of the day. So we are aware of what's going on the server. We're aware of that point you just brought up about low pop or no cops on and player-to-player interactions, shall we say. But like Viper said, we're going to keep an eye on it. If it becomes an issue, we will combat it in some way. How that's going to go down yet, I don't know. I'm not going to say anything, but we are aware that some people feel that it might be going a little bit too far, but we'll keep an eye on it and just see how it goes from here.
Yeah.
I will say, do let us know if we are in server. If you got mugged 6 times in the last 2 hours, we should probably know. That way we can, even if we don't address the person yet right away, we can at least talk about it and get that rule going.
Yeah.
But if we don't know, we can't do anything.
Oh yeah, and of course, I'm not gonna say names, please. But no, like it's not hasn't gone to the point where it's too far yet. But I just see it like once we do like have more people in, and I talked to Bella about it today. Is like once we get more and more people in, like right now it's manageable. Like it gets annoying. I'm not gonna lie, because when you just got your check for $600 and someone comes along and steals $300, it's like holy cow, that's a lot of money. But I could just see it.
Just do
In
what
the
I did. Make sure
in the
that the
future
guy
being a
gets a
problem.
cap in his head.
So I just see
Yeah.
it possibly being a problem in the future once a lot more people are on, and so I just want
This is
to
understandable.
start the topic.
Like I said, it's understandable. We've talked about it before. The reason we didn't put a rule in against it in the beginning is because we don't want to start with so many rules that we're limiting everything that's possible. Like if stuff becomes issues, we will look at it and we'll find a way to fix it. Sometimes it'll be a rule, sometimes it'll be mechanics. We will look at it.
We kind of want you guys to form it. So, based on what you guys do and don't do, is kind of how form.
Yeah, instead of adopting old rules from previous servers and communities of all different types, we rather see what this community forms into and try and code our way out of a lot of things. But when we do have to put in rules, but we know from experience, I don't remember all the rules of my previous community. I can't even say I know half of them because I felt like there are constantly new ones. And then how can we expect the players to do the same? So try and be fair to each other. And
I actually have something to add to this question.
Yeah.
So player versus player crime. I don't know if the kidnapping script you guys made is working correctly or not. Reason being is, I was with Coda and we got a hold of the guy that's been robbing everyone doing post-op, and I wanted to leave him in the trunk of a car and put him in the lake. But you can't use your phone. You can't bring down the team menu to type anything, and you can't open the trunk up yourself from the inside. So it'd really be like you just locked him in a cage and no one will ever find him.
So I'll address this one. This was brought up just a couple days ago, where something very similar happened. We are kind of just monitoring it at the moment, trying to see what kind of solution we
Disco,
have.
stop. It's already been coded.
Oh, it has.
Yeah.
Oh,
If a car
great.
gets submerged in the water, its trunk will open. Actually, I think
Okay.
all doors open.
So
Oh man, I was gonna say just drive the car to the water and let the fucker drown, but it just opens.
what if I? Because at first we put him in the trunk, and I was just gonna leave him there, but Coda just, he said 5 minutes, you can walk away, act like someone found you. What if I would have just left him in a car that wasn't in the water?
Then he would have been stuck
Yeah.
forever.
Yeah, because you can't make any noise, you can't do anything. It's like you're frozen in time.
It's another thing we will look into with the kidnapping. It's like I said, the water thing is already fixed or changed, but just in general, we'll look at something.
All
And
right,
if-
I just
Maybe
wanted to
there's
bring
like
it
a-
up because I just felt like if someone gets into this position,
yeah, especially
they might
when a
not
live
know.
server.
There has
If-
been
Maybe
discussion as to how to for there to away for someone who is in the trunk breakout, because that is a very common a bit like any new car right now has a way to break out.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Oh,
Yeah, you
that's
can
actually a good point to bring up is, what you just said with the kidnapping, and right now, essentially, you can just put anyone in the trunk. If they're not dead, they have no way of getting out. We are when that's the reason we're hesitant about adding some other features in, like civilian cuffing. When you open it up to a public forum and you have these features which restrict people very much in certain ways, we're hesitant about putting them in. I mean, I was hesitant about kidnapping in the beginning because again, it's a way of forcing someone completely without them having any control. So these kind of things will be looked at and will be seen how to implement and how make changes, how make fair for everyone.
For now, do the whole thing of we're gonna leave you here and then maybe see them and be like, we'll be back for you in 5 minutes, and then take a drive around the block, whatever, just so they know that they're not left. But yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, like
Yeah,
what we did. I
'cause,
just opened the trunk and I let him, like, he was laying on the ground. I just said, hey, I said, oh, so like, you know, someone finds you in 5 minutes, and then he, you know, was able to respond. At least
Yeah.
I hope he was.
Exactly.
Yeah, because even if you're not dead or dead, it doesn't matter. You even have a E for revive. There's no medics on you. Can't revive drunk. So there would be no way to get out.
Appreciate it. It's been already looked at and been talked about how to change and
Go
fix
more
or
in depth with it.
Yeah, I did have one last question. It was
Sure.
kind of, I don't know if it was answered before with the whole ID thing. Like, are we planning to have an actual, like, an inventory ID? Like, is that ever? I know it's possibly not right now, but like in the future, having an actual inventory where people could steal it off you, you could use someone's other fake ID, so you could actually, like, you know, try to impose. You know,
So you would
someone
also
else.
hand over your ID to the cops, your physical ID. That's what you're thinking
Yes.
as well.
Yeah, exactly. And, like, you know, let's say you actually left your ID in the car or something, it could actually physically be inside the car inventory. You know, or just something like that. You know, is that any, like, possibility in the future, or, you know, pretty much what's everyone's ideas on that?
It is possible. It is possible, of course. It was discussed a while back with staff about that. I remember that at least.
I believe it was actually discussed before the inventory system was made.
Something along those lines. Oh,
And
when
then
it was remade.
the inventory system got remade to what it is now, and then it was never brought up again. So it's not that we don't want to do it. It's that it's more a case of we probably just
Low
forgot about
priority.
it.
Yeah, it's a
Go
little
see
bit of low
it again,
priority at
and
this
it's on
point.
the lower side.
Best thing you could do right now, Koda, is make a post in the forums, a suggestion, and then we can have that be discussion about that topic. So
Okay,
we
cool.
get the idea of everyone else of what they feel like about it and how it should work and how to combat it and how to get the idea back or get a new one. Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah, I'll do that.
All right. Warjack? Any questions? Feedback? Okay. Oh, he's back?
Can you? Oh yeah, there you go.
No.
All right.
Okay.
Brecky?
A lot of effort for a no.
Nothing, Brecky, really. Okay. Hollywood?
No, I don't, bitch.
All right, you're banned. Yamanox, you have anything you want to say? Any add? I boosted your hot mic.
Oh, my bad.
I think that's gonna be a no for now.
If he has, you can always add on. Zephaniah?
Atron has a question.
Now that we're all done with that, I'm gonna ask one more time. Anyone have any other questions that they just thought of after?
Atron
Yeah,
has a question.
Atron have one.
Say something in the meeting chat that you have a question, and Viper will call on you by name, so we don't just talk over.
Atron, you have something?
Yeah, thank you. So, to be honest, I haven't played on this server too much, so I'm not sure how it is currently. But just a question regarding criminal history of criminal history. Do I have access to other people's criminal history? Because I'm pretty sure in America, like American law states that criminal records are public, right? They're meant to be public. Am I somehow able
hold on.
to?
I can answer. You want?
Let introducers answer that question for now.
Okay, so criminal history. I know at least in real life, because like I work in a jail. Not all criminal history is public. There are ways to find it, but not all of it's public. However, right now we don't really have a way to do that. And even if we did, that's still up for debate whether or not. Most likely, though, if we're gonna
go more realistic, I think we will. Martin, you could probably answer more of this because you're making.
I mean, in real life, you usually have to go to the police station. For police, if you want a police reports, like just depending on the agency, you pay like a small fee, can get police reports. As far as criminal history goes, realistically in America, yes, it is.
Actually, not all criminal history is public. Now, of course,
if it's a
a lot
sealed
of
record.
documentation. Yeah, so I know at least for juveniles, that's 100% no. You can't touch a juvenile's record.
Correct.
But I know some criminal history can be locked by the court, but it's not like it's gone forever. You know, but
that's what's.
that's
I want to say in this with regards to this question as well. Whenever we get to a place where it might be possible, maybe that's a question we can ask the community whether or not they want it, because we are in a very specific little ecosystem where we know each other a little more intimately. But would you really go and look up your neighbor's criminal history on here? You might do, but in real life, would you? And then make the decision at that point.
Well, at the moment, it's probably not too useful. But I'm thinking about in the future. Well, let's say you're about to hire someone for your business, right? And you want to know their background, you want to know what they're been into.
We
or you
could
just met
maybe
someone.
we could make something. I don't know if every country has this, but my country has something called records that you as a person provide. So I would go down and get my own record that would sign by the police saying I have this and this crime, or I have no crimes on my record. Maybe something like that could be
If
provided.
I'm wrong, when you employ, you consent to a criminal record check, don't you?
You do in most countries, and most countries then submit that to the local policing authority, but that company will never find out the details of that check. They will just likely send back that check if it's clear. If there's nothing on there of concern, they'll just send it back as clear. If there is something of concern, they might say, "Oh, this guy has had previous for robbery or something like that."
Yeah, well, no, that's all I expect, really. Not everything in detail.
Yeah. So then, to answer your question, based on the reasoning why you, because I was initially wondering why you would want that, and now you've explained it, then down the line, I don't see an issue why that would be the case. Now, you as a business owner
One knows at
requesting that
11.
information, I feel
Nice
uneasy
woman
as a
stands next to
business.
my van.
I feel uneasy
What's your hot mic?
doing that, but if you're going to hire someone like Pink said, I think a better way is have that individual gather their well, the problem is if you have the individual gather it, they can then forge it. So
exactly,
it could be a request through the justice system that we create. Discussion for that topic.
Also, we can just do it like we did it on SOE. You come with your new employee to the police station, and then with the allowance of the guy, we can tell you if he has done a felony or not. That should be no problem. If you come with your
The person getting the search can give permission for it to be read out
consent,
loud. Yeah.
that's what I'm searching. Yeah.
Yeah. So until we have a more in-depth system, and this is something like obviously you're thinking about the future and how you want to conduct a business, and I'm really glad like you're thinking into the details, but we can't accommodate that just yet. But we'll love to make something that makes it an easy task whenever we're done with some of the more major bug fixes and implementations of features.
Okay, fantastic. Thank you very much.
Anyone else?
I heard Boosted had something.
Yeah, that it's gonna be like on a tag on my last question there, about like the new features. I know you said you had like 3 that were major. You guys have any other down the line here that you know that might be in here? You just haven't had time to get to it, like maybe stuff in cars that you could steal and sell to like a fence or something, or
Fishing is on the list.
It's
of course.
one
All
of
stuff
them again.
flying, all stuff boats.
It's one of them, but I'm not gonna name other servers or communities, but essentially what everyone else has will end eventually at some point in some way, shape, or form probably end up here. That's probably the easiest way to put it. So in terms of the example specifically you're asking for, yes, items in cars will be stealable at some point. Again, when that's going to be, there's no way of us saying.
Yeah, I was just, if it was on, your guys' mind or anything, or
It is more. We try to maybe also think out of the box and new with every feature, so some things might look a little bit different.
Well, here's the thing where I'll say this. I don't think staff will disagree with me here. Is a lot of what has gone in and a lot of what will go in doesn't come from us as staff. It comes from you guys as the players in the community of what you guys want. So if you want something like things to be stolen from cars, things that you can steal from cars and stuff like that, make the suggestion on the forums. That's what that's why it's lack of a
Okay.
better term, that's what you guys are here for. You guys
Yeah.
make the suggestions, we see the feasibility of it, and whether there's any rule changes that need to be made, any development stuff that need to be done.
Can I
Those
talk
things are
about the
probably
forums
done.
for a second on that topic?
Sure.
Don't be afraid to mention something again. Of course, go and look if you can see something in the immediate, like just now that someone else has suggested it. But what we will try to do is have someone from staff look over both suggestion and bug reports before it touches the devs table, so they don't get overrun with it. So if it's already on their list of to do, we will just mention that it's been sent to them, and that's gonna kind of be it. We can't give a date on when things are gonna get put in, but we will make sure you know that you've been heard. And then if it's not on their list to do, we will make a card for them and we will make sure that it gets put on their list.
Like I said in the beginning, the three things that I mentioned are just giant topics that need a lot of discussion from the community. In between, there will be small features added here and there and stuff.
Okay.
Anything
All right.
else?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
no.
Patrick.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, sorry.
Go ahead.
So it's currently 1 a.m. for me. I apologize if I missed something you guys just said, but or if you guys have already done this. But do we have a roadmap of what's going to get implemented? So we could have a basic like
Roadmaps
idea.
will be added in after we are done with like the initial beta testing for like 1.0. Then we can start thinking about those things, because then we'll make a roadmap, for version 1.5 or 2.0, whatever we want to call it. But right now it's impossible to have a roadmap, because from the beginning we knew we wanted a few features, but then everything gets added on top of everything, because we don't know what like 1.0 was gonna look like.
Yeah.
The problem with roadmaps is like when you you come up with an idea, and this is the problem that I had in SOE as well, was that when you have an idea and a feature and you think about it through your head and you know how to develop it and you go through it, but you run into so many issues, or it comes into and affects a server law or rule or whatever the case may be. You think you have a great idea and it ends up taking more time than what it should. Or someone comes with you an idea and you can have it spit out in 10 minutes or an hour or a day or two. That's the problem with when you do roadmaps, is that you try to aim for that and you try to meet like a deadline, and it just doesn't work out. But we always take in as much suggestions as we can too.
Like the amazing phone that was teased and then promised and then never delivered.
Yeah, thanks for bringing that up.
You're welcome.
All right, thank you very much.
All right. Anyone else have a question? Anything you want to feedback, concerns, anything? Isn't ban me? I've heard this already 16 times. Not gonna happen.
I mean, if someone pays me, I will do it.
Who pays you? At least they give me part of it then.
Will do. You can have 1 cent.
That's not fair. I'm gonna say
Okay,
paying you.
so to wrap up, I want just a quick couple notes. So this is a new server, right? We want to promote some really good RP. So if you see anybody doing some good RP or you had a good time with someone, always give them like, a shout out, PM them, let them know. It's always good to have some positive reinforcement and feedback on what you're doing because it's a fun experience for all. And in addition to that, I want you guys to, if you think of something that you may be like, this is kind of risky, right? Like I could be right or I could be wrong. As long as you have the right intention and you can at least prove to one of us that you had the right intention doing it, I say go for it. If it's a little risky RP, do it. Like, myself and Yamanox have done some risky stuff already, but it's all in favor of having a good time with everybody on server. So just keep that in mind and just have a good time. Essentially, that's all I have to say. But I really hope you, I really hope you guys enjoy the community and what we're doing. I hope you guys do voice your opinions and stuff like that because we are here and open to listen. And I can say that for every single person on this team, including other members of the community. They want to listen to you as well. But that's it for me. If you need anything from me, let me know, and I'm sure Viper and some other team members will help you out.
Asking anyone in staff right now wants to make any statements, any things you want to say right now before we finish, wrap it up.
Sorry, before that, Viper, it might be worth mentioning about there's no businesses right now. However, if you want to get
Already
your
been
name
over that.
around, you got. Yeah, but not the currently that you can sort of just RP it anyway.
Yeah, we did.
I somehow missed that. Sorry.
Yeah. It's fine. Anyway, anyone from staff wanna add anything to the end of this? Before I finish it off.
In the end, it is all of you guys that make this community. Your great RP, the passion for the RP, and just you guys being yourself.
Playing also helps too.
Yes, playing helps, and also having fun. Tons of fun.
Anyone else?
All right.
Also visit Viper's sex harp in the server.
Okay. Anyone else from staff want to add something?
Martin doesn't let me have fun.
Okay.
Did you just say I don't let you have fun?
I'm headed out. Let me know if you need anything. Have a great Saturday if I don't see you tonight. Peace out.
Alright.
GG.
Bye, I love you.
Anyone else wanna add anything?
I just want to say a parting message of fuck Viper.
Okay.
Yes, I agree.
Everybody
that agree, say aye.
So how much for that promo banner?
Fuck Viper.
So welcome. What I will say, one last thing is, the guides on the forums, they're all posted. They are all Wikipedias, meaning anyone in this community can change the guides. Meaning anyone can keep them up to date, change it to fit all the current things. Again, don't fuck with them too hard. We can see exactly who changes it. So if you get caught doing the wrong thing, we will fuck you back.
And also, shoutouts to Dakota, who did the most recent adaptation to it.
I tried it. Might need a rewording, but
Again, anyone
That's
can
okay.
do it.
At least on the upside, you didn't write U as in the letter U instead of Y.
Fuck Viper for that.
Anyway, so again, anyone that's not whitelisted, stick around. We'll get that sorted too. And thank you all for coming. And please don't leave me.
Not too bad. Later.
Bye, basic bitch.
GG. Bye.
Peace.
Feel so
Fuck, I
welcome.
got here late.
Swim for life.
Let the chains keep on happening.
Again, anyone that's not whitelisted right now, if you haven't put your stuff in the chat yet, do it now, and then we'll get. And the permaban for me, you give me $1 million, I'll do it.
$1 million?
Yeah, I'll do it.
Real money or in game?
Hey, real money, fuck off.
Oh fuck. I don't know about that then, Viper. I don't know how I feel about
Hang on.
that.
Viper can't permaban himself, so I'll have to do it and I'll share it with the rest of the staff.
No, I can do it myself, don't worry.
Alright, so how much do you want then?
I mean, I'll do it for $1 million.
For $1 million? For $1 million IRL? How about IRL guy?
Yeah,
I'll give you.
$1 million
I'll give you
IRL.
3 cents.
Oh, God, no.
I mean, you know what? That's still actually more than what Viper's worth.
All right, let's do it. You want to send me your PayPal or something?
I know the meeting's over. I got like a quick question. Can people search serial numbers from weapons?
Not right now.
I'll say that it's been a debate. I gotta bring it. Someone brought it up to me actually the other day, Coda, and I took it to Yamanox and I said, why do we not have this? And the response was, well, people didn't want it. And I was like, what? Who said that? And he's like, staff. So it's debating again as to bringing it in because they were put in for that reason, and now they're not being used.
I think it'd be cool if maybe like if you bought it from an actual dealership, like they had to keep track of it. Like again, this is later on down the line with business and everything, but they could actually keep a spreadsheet of who they've sold a weapon to, and then there could be like obviously legal businesses that sell weapons that don't have serial numbers or something like that, you know. So
I absolutely would love someone to take over, like ammunition, and do that kind of thing instead of have. My thing with the server is I hate a lot of the automation. So things like all the shops that rely on the server to magically just create stuff. I absolutely hate that, but I see the necessity of it. So anywhere where we can have a player-owned business do that, I'm all for it. So if someone can come up with a business idea and down the road when businesses get set up, then yes, stuff will be magically created, but there is a little bit more leeway in terms of having that player interaction between someone buying the gun as opposed to just walking into ammunition and it just spawning on them.
yeah, for sure.
Just quickly, so anyone that's going to not whitelisted, please type in chat for me so we can get you sort of who it is or who's not.
So
More,
if I'm not considered whitelisted, I can't.
no, I'm saying if
you
you
can.
aren't
Anyone,
right now.
anyone in this room can get whitelisted. Anyone who's been to this meeting.
Yeah.
Well, if I'm in the city, I'm considered whitelisted, right? Alright, I'm in there. Never mind.
Okay. Samora, I can't whitelist you unless you've connected to the server before, so since you're currently not fucking home, so no. Anyone else in here that is not whitelisted right now?